In this video, we will talk about the pre-embryo development. Before moving into details, let's revise important points. There are 3 stages. The pre-embryo at weeks 0 to 2. The embryo at weeks 2 to 8. And the fetus at weeks 8 to 38. Let's start with the pre-embryo at weeks 0 to 2, which is the first stage. The secondary oocyte is shed into the peritoneal cavity and directed into the adjacent fallopian tube, where fertilization must take place within 24 hours. Now let's discuss the function of sperm. Well, the sperm performs 3 functions. First is the restoration of the diploid number of chromosomes. Second is the initiation of cleavage. And third is determination of sex. Now, let me explain these functions, one by one in detail. First is the restoration of the diploid number of chromosomes. It means 23, or haploid number of chromosomes, from sperm. And 23, or haploid number of chromosomes, from egg. So, 23 plus 23 is 46. And haploid into haploid becomes diploid. Second is the initiation of cleavage. It means when sperm fertilize the egg, the process of cleavage takes place, such as 2-cell or 8-cell stage. This will be explained later in detail. And third is determination of sex. Female has X and X while sperm has X and Y. Female always gives X, but male can give X or Y. Now, egg gives X and X from male, produces female. But in other case, egg gives X and Y from male, produces male. In this way, sperm causes determination of sex of the baby. Did you know that all of us began our lives as a single fertilized cell? Yes, of course. This concept has been a little bit explained to you. Now let's move into details of human embryology. Capacitation is a period of conditioning in the female reproductive tract. That in the human lasts approximately 7 hours. Speeding of sperm means any sperm which arrive to the ampulla is not advantageous, because capacitation has not yet occurred, and such sperm is not capable of fertilizing the egg. During this time, a glycoprotein coat and seminal plasma proteins are removed specially from acrosomal region of the sperm. So, you can memorize capacitation. As the word itself indicate, that sperm is capable of fertilizing the egg after capacitation. I hope so many important concepts have been cleared to you. Now, let's move into detail. Now, only capacitated sperm can pass through the corona radiata and undergo the acrosome reaction, which has been discussed. The sperm passes through the corona radiata on the oocyte surface and adheres to the zona pellucida. The acrosome in the sperm head then releases enzymes that digest a tunnel through the zona pellucida, now allowing the sperm to pass into the paravitallin space and fuse with the oocyte membrane. Let's have a close view of this process to have best understanding. This is corona radiata barrier. This is zona pellucida. This is oocyte cell membrane. Have a look of the arrangement of corona radiata barrier, zona pellucida, and oocyte cell membrane. Now, tell me 3 phases that sperm is going to pass. Let's revise them together. Phase 1, in which penetration of sperm through the corona radiata. Phase 2, in which there is penetration of sperm through the zona pellucida. And, finally Phase 3, in which there is fusion of the sperm and oocyte cell membrane, while sperm lose its own plasma membrane. Now again, continuing the process of development. The mammalian primary oocyte emits the first polar body before ovulation. The sperm head is then engulfed by the oocyte, and entry of more sperm prevented by a rapid cortical reaction in zona pellucida. I repeat, entry of more sperm prevented by a rapid cortical reaction, then the oocyte nucleus completes metaphase 2 and expels the second polar body. The second polar body is extruded from the oocyte as a consequence of oocyte activation, triggered by the fertilizing sperm. Now, maternal and paternal pronuclei fuse. So, as a result of fusion of maternal and paternal pronuclei, the zygote will be formed. Now, what is zygote? Well, zygote is a fertilized egg cell that results from the union of a female gamete called as egg or ovum with a male gamete called as sperm. Now, in next stage, mitosis of the pre-embryo is called cleavage. Two-cell stage formed after 30 hours in process of cleavage. Each divided cell is called as blastomere, and the resultant blastomeres are smaller after each division. The 16-cell morula passes down the uterine tube aided by peristalsis and ciliary movement. But do you know how 16-cell morula looks like? Well, this 16-cell morula looks like mulberry. I know, it's a bit confusing. But not for you. Let's break down the stages of cleavage further. Okay, so we are going to discuss cleavage in detail, which is development of the zygote from the two-cell stage to the morula stage. The two-cell stage 1 and 2. That's why it is called as two-cell stage. When two-cell stage is reached, approximately 30 hours after fertilization. Next is the four-cell stage. It is reached at approximately 40 hours. Then, it undergoes a series of mitotic divisions, increasing the numbers of cells. These cells, which become smaller with each cleavage division, are known as blastomeres. Next is the 8-cell stage. They form a loosely arranged clump. After the third cleavage, these blastomeres maximize their contact with each other, forming a compact ball of cells held together by tight junctions. Then, 16-cell stage is reached at approximately 3 days, called as morula. Remember that, mulberry? Yes, you are keeping the key points in mind. Keep it up. Moving back to pre-embryo development process. Next is formation of blastocyst at day 5. During this period, blastomeres are surrounded by the zona pellucida, which disappears at the end of the 4th day. Are you thinking why this zona pellucida is removed? Now at this stage, there is no chance of fertilization. That's why blastomeres are surrounded by the zona pellucida, which disappears at the end of the 4th day. Keep your concentration, I can ask question at any time from you. So, tell me which stage we are discussing. Is it pre-embryo, embryo, or fetal?
Ma'am, we are discussing the pre-embryo development.
Yes, you are right, we are discussing the stages of pre-embryo. And, what about the week?
Ma'am, we are discussing the pre-embryo at weeks 0 to 2.
Yes, you are right, again. It's about the pre-embryo at weeks 0 to 2. Now, moving again to the process of development. We were discussing about morula. So, continuing with morula. A space, called the blastocele, forms off-center in the morula to create the blastocyst. It then swells and bursts from the zona pellucida. Have you ever wondered what's the need of blastocele? Well, it prevents the cells beneath it from interacting prematurely with the cells above it. And what was the zona pellucida? Yes, you are absolutely right, it's the layer of the oocyte that the sperm has passed in its second phase. That sounds so good that you are learning quickly and accurately. One question is roaming around my mind. I am sure you are also thinking same question. Let me share it with you. Well, have you ever wondered how the incredible complexity of the human body develops from just a few cells? Now, continuing our topic. Two different blastocysts are now recognizable. The flattened trophectoderm cells, or trophoblast, and an eccentrically placed inner cell mass, or embryoblast. On day 6, the blastocyst implants in the endometrium lining the uterus. Can you see this implantation? Some trophoblast cells fuse to form the invasive syncytia trophoblast, the remainder constituting the cytotrophoblast. You can memorize them as cyto means inner, while syn means outer.
Excuse me, ma'am, does the yellow glowing line show lining of endometrium?
Yes, this is endometrium lining, where implantation occurs. Now moving forward. Let's discuss the formation of embryonic disc. We know that the blastocyst implants in the endometrium lining the uterus. Now, at day 9. These are syncytia trophoblast. Now amniotic cavity develops above, and blastocyst cavity develops below. The blastocyst now takes nourishment from the mother and grows rapidly as it sinks further into the endometrium. Do you know what is endometrium? Well, you know it very well. Let's revise its functions together. The physiological functions of the uterine endometrium are preparation for implantation, maintenance of pregnancy if implantation occurs, and menstruation in the absence of pregnancy. The endometrium thus plays a pivotal role in reproduction and continuation of our species. Moving forward. At day 18. The inner cell mass exposed ventrally to the blastocele flattens to form the primitive endoderm, or hypoblast, while the remainder forms the primitive ectoderm, or epiblast. Epi means above, but hypo means below.
But, ma'am, why epiblast and hypoblast are also called as primitive ectoderm and primitive endoderm?
Good question. Epiblast is called primitive ectoderm because it is going to be ectoderm in future. And hypoblast is called as primitive endoderm because it is going to be endoderm in future. From the epiblast and hypoblast, the double-layered disc, called the embryonic disc, will develop. Oh my God, did you know that some of the most important milestones in human development occur during embryogenesis before watching this video? So, this was all. In our next video, we will talk about the gastrulation and neurulation in embryo.
Have you ever heard of video books? sqadia.com is delighted to present video books, medical books, that have been tailored into a series of videos. sqadia.com videos are presented in the same order as the book's chapters. Explore now and make your learning easy.